So I have been building a physics engine for the last couple of months, and I wondered if I could use it to simulate a telescope. In fact, I wondered if I could make it so good that I could see the flag left on the moon during Apollo 11 in honor of the 250th birthday of the United States. Such a telescope would need to be quite massive to be able to see all the way to the flag. The issue is the moon is 384 million meters away, and the flag is only about 5 feet wide. So before I could even get to the moon, I needed to figure out if my engine could simulate a telescope at all. I figured I should start with the simplest possible thing, a single lens. I want to show you a lens I made back when I was a glassblower, and I want you to notice how it seems to focus the light to a point, and how the image is flipped through it. This is the first thing I wanted to reproduce in the engine. If a single lens didn't work, then a telescope definitely wouldn't work. Let's start by considering how a lens works. A lens bends light, and that bending is what makes magnification possible. When light hits the surface of the glass at an angle, the part of the light wave that enters the medium first slows down before the rest of it does. Because the lens is curved, it bends incoming light rays by varying amounts depending on exactly where they strike the surface. A convex lens like this one bends all the incoming rays inward, steering them toward a single unified focal point. If you look at something past that focal point, those light rays have actually already crossed over one another. This is exactly why the image passing through the glass gets flipped completely upside down. So I put the lens into my engine. At first it did bend the light, but the focus was not clean. It was close enough to tell I was doing the right thing, but not close enough to look like a real telescope. This is where I realized the annoying part of optics. One small mistake in the surface normal, the ray direction, or the refraction math ruins the whole image, so I kept debugging until the simulated lens behaved like a real one. So here's what our lens looks like in my engine. And like our real lens, you can see that the image is upside down until we get to this point where the image becomes a blur, and then flips upright again. That's our focal point. To give you another feel for this, let me rotate the lens, and you can see that our focal point is when the light seems to shrink to a minimum. At this point I had a lens that worked, but I was still basically finding the focus by moving things around until it looked right. For a telescope, that's not good enough. I needed the math. So consider this, we have an object in front of the lens, and the lens forms an image on the other side. There are three distances we care about: the object distance d sub o, the image distance d sub I, and the focal length f, which tells us how strongly the lens bends light. If we know the focal length and the object distance, then the thin lens equation lets us solve for where the image appears. The inverse of the focal length equals the sum of the inverses of the object and image distances. This is called the thin lens equation because we are treating the whole lens as if the bending happens at one thin plane. Once we know where the image is, we can also find how much bigger or smaller it will be using the image distance divided by the object distance. The magnification is negative, and that negative sign tells us the image has flipped. This was a good test because once I used this equation, the focus showed up where the math said it would. That told me that the simulation was not just looking right by accident. Then, in a telescope, we use two lenses. One lens forms the image, and the second lens magnifies that image. M is roughly the objective focal length over the eyepiece focal length. So a long focal length objective and a short focal length eyepiece gives us a larger image. So let me show you what two lenses look like. I want you to notice how the first lens focuses the light down to a single point where the image flips. After crossing that point, the light spreads back out, and the second lens catches it, aligning the light rays so your eye can see a clear magnified image. Our objective lens has a focal length of 57 millimeters, and our eyepiece is 3 millimeters, so we can see that our magnification is 57 over 3, which is 19 times zoom. So the basic telescope worked. The problem was that 19 times zoom is nowhere near enough to see anything small on the moon. Now that I had a working telescope, I pointed it at the moon. For the video, I did not want the moon to just be a nearby texture. I wanted it at the real distance, because otherwise the flag goal does not really mean anything. Let me start by showing you the moon that I added. This moon is placed at the actual 384,400,000 meters away from the origin using real NASA height map data. And once I put it that far away, the scale of the problem became obvious. The telescope could see the moon, but the Apollo flag was nowhere close to visible. My first thought was just to increase the magnification. But this was the important part. Magnification does not create detail, it only makes the detail you already captured bigger. If the telescope does not collect enough information, then zooming in just gives you a bigger, blurry image. So I could make the moon larger on the screen, but that did not mean I could resolve the flag. Now here's the telescope I designed, and while we look at the moon, I want you to notice how as the magnification goes up, the edges of the moon seem to become colorful, and how the image seems to distort, preventing us from seeing surface detail. This is chromatic aberration, but how do we fix it? So far, we have been pretending that the focal length is just one number, f. But glass does not bend every color of light by the same amount. The index of refraction actually depends on wavelength. Blue light and red light travel through glass differently, so they bend by slightly different amounts. And if the bending depends on wavelength, then the focal length also depends on wavelength. So red light might focus in one distance, blue light might focus at a slightly different distance. Instead of one clean image point, the colors spread out a little. This is called chromatic aberration. This makes the refracting telescope worse as I tried to push it harder. It was not just that the moon was far away, the telescope itself was adding color blur. But mirrors do not have this problem in the same way, because a mirror does not rely on light slowing down inside glass. It just reflects light, and for reflection the rule is the angle in equals the angle out. So the telescope we just looked at is called a Keplerian telescope. A Keplerian telescope uses two convex lenses, a large objective lens at the front and a smaller eyepiece lens near your eye. To combat chromatic aberration, we can try a different kind of telescope, a reflecting telescope. Instead of using a big lens to focus light, a Cassegrain telescope uses a curved mirror. Light comes in, reflects off a large primary mirror, bounces off a smaller secondary mirror, and then comes back through a hole in the primary mirror to the eyepiece. This makes the telescope much more compact because the light path is folded back in on itself. And because mirrors do not cause chromatic aberration, we can avoid those color fringes and image distortion. So I rebuilt the telescope as a reflector. And here is our reflecting Cassegrain telescope in action. Let's take a look at our moon at 300 times magnification. All the chromatic aberration and distortion is gone, leaving us with gorgeous lunar detail. This looked way better, but it still did not solve the actual goal. I still could not see the flag. That was annoying, because at this point the telescope was not obviously broken. The image looked sharp and the mirror worked, but I still did not have enough resolution. So I made the mirror bigger. At first that helped. The moon got sharper and smaller details started to show up, but the flag was still basically invisible, so I kept increasing the aperture. And then the problem changed. The image did not just get sharper anymore, it started breaking. So the moon is 384 million meters away, and the thing I was trying to see is only about 1.5 meters wide. That means the renderer has to keep track of huge distances and tiny details at the same time. And with 32-bit floats, that starts falling apart. So, did I get a clean image of the Apollo 11 flag? No, but I did get close enough to understand why. The problem was not just making the moon bigger on screen. A telescope needs enough aperture to resolve details that small, and the simulation needs enough precision to handle moon-scale distances without destroying meter-scale features. So I did not end up with a flag image. I'm gonna keep trying to work at solving this problem, but I still think I got a telescope that's pretty cool. So the next time you find yourself squinting at something just out of reach, remember, some simple curved mirrors are all that stands between you and the stars. If you want to try the engine, access the tracks I composed for this project, or just help me replace this, then join my YouTube membership. Don't forget to subscribe to see what I do next, and if you want to see how I made this renderer, my last video goes into how spectral rendering works.